Hello and what is up there, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my gigantic map. In this episode we're gonna have a walk around of the entire map. I'm gonna go through every region so that you can see what regions there are and what my plans are. And what I want to ask you in this video is, if you have any suggestions for any of the regions, please let them leave them below, because as soon as I start working on that area, I can use that idea or those ideas and really make this map so it will be really fun to play once it turns into a server. So with that being said, there will also be annotations at the top so that you can skip ahead to each region every time you want. Maybe if you want to rewatch this video in a later stage, you don't have to watch the intro, you can just skip ahead to the region that you want to see. Okay, with that being said, let's go and start with the first region. So, the desert. You've seen some of it. Don't worry about the waypoints. That are all the different places that we will visit in this video. So, the desert, we've seen it before. The desert will probably be one of the main locations that you will be spawning in, because that's kind of the start of the game. So the areas, the mobs are not gonna be there as tough. There is gonna be loot, probably not as good as you could find higher up, but yeah, it's just gonna be like the starting area. And once you've spawned in the desert, you might want to be finding some civilization as soon as possible in order to get some loot and prevent yourself from dying or getting killed. The other problem is that a town like this brings, like Quarks, is that when you would get in here, other players would probably be there as well, so that would involve PvP. Quarks is going to be one of those locations. We've all seen Quarks because it's the first thing that's actually completed on this map. Then we've got a couple of other things that will be on this desert. There will be some savage camps, which will be smaller. This camp is already done. Then we've got two huts over here, which just need some decoration inside and on the outside before they are done. And then there might be one or two other huts, or this might be it, because the desert shouldn't be too crowded. It should feel like it's completely abandoned. Then another thing that we're gonna be building, or I'm gonna be building, because I'm gonna be building all by myself, is a lost library. And I've talked about this before. It's gonna be like a tower that you can see buried in the sand. There will be a way to get in that tower, and once you go all the way down, you will end up in a lost library that's hidden under the earth, and that will be an epic dungeon in the desert. It will probably be quite huge and kind of be like a maze thingy. Maybe some puzzles in it. I don't know yet what it's going to be, but it's based on an Avatar, the cartoon Avatar, an episode of that. So and that's almost everything that I will be building. The other thing that I will be building, you can see it here, is going to be the entrance to a hidden city. And that city is going to be inspired on something that you could see in Assassin's Creed Revelations, and that's kind of the city that was hidden inside a cave. And I want to kind of make something like that in this mountain, but because I want to get this map out there as soon as possible, I will only be making the entrance at first, close it off like the city is sealed off, and that will be one of many kind of expansions that would come to this map, so that you could be playing this map for a while, and then all of a sudden a new expansion comes which adds a new area. So that's kind of my idea. And at the entrance I also want to build a sphinx. So that's gonna be fun. And with that being shown, this is pretty much everything I had to say for the desert. So I'll see you in the next region. Okay, and here we are in the jungle. The jungle is close to the desert and will be beside the desert. This will be one of the other main spawning points. So there will be some different spawning points across the map, and the desert and the jungle will probably have most of them, since that are just the lower level area, so not as tough mobs, and yeah, probably not as good loot as you would find up in higher end areas. So first thing, we have the Orcish village that I'm doing a let's build of at the moment. So yeah, you can see that right here. It's gonna be just a small village with a lot of different huts, and these huts will of course be containing chests that you could loot for yourself. Then another thing that we have on this map is the volcano. On this map, in the jungle I mean, and the volcano is gonna be one of the epic dungeons here in the jungle. And the entrance to that epic dungeon, I showed that in the previous episode, is gonna be right there. And this is the Mayan city, the lost city of the Mayas. Of course that's gonna have some ruins, it's gonna have hidden loot. It already has an epic dungeon inside of this one. There's gonna be another temple here. So yeah, that are probably the main locations for you that you want to visit in the jungle. Then we've got one more location that will be added in the jungle, and you can see that right over here, that it's the entrance to Goblin Town. And what is Goblin Town gonna be? It's gonna be like the hidden city in the desert. I'm gonna be building the entrance. It's gonna be sealed off, and it's gonna be one of many expansions that I'm planning for this map, so that even when the server's been out there for a while, there will still be new content coming to it. So at first it will only be kind of like an entrance, and later on there will be an actual town in it, and that's gonna be heavily inspired by the whole Goblin Town in the Hobbit. So yeah, just that you know. And with that being said, everything I wanted to show you in the jungle area has been shown, so I'll see you all in the next area hopefully. Okay, so the next area, which borders at the jungle, is gonna be called the northern main area. It's not the north, it's just the main area, so the middle of the map, and that is divided into two parts, the northern part and the southern part. In the northern part we have hills, as you can see over here. We've got hills, we've got forest, and we've got a swamp. And one of the builds that I want to do right on the edge of the jungle is like a little hobbit town in these hills. So just yeah, a town inspired by the hobbit style, so hobbit holes everywhere, probably at a nice little river in here somewhere. So yeah, just a nice, like, really peaceful environment, and I think that would be fun, because especially when you would end up killing someone here, that would be quite fun to do in a little hobbit place. So what else will be in this northern main area? Well, we've got a lot of hills, and one other thing that I want to be building is just like a random farm, and that is going to be over here. It's just going to be like a random farm with some fields, some cattle, and just one farmhouse. So it's not going to be like a village, it's just going to be a farm which would provide supplies for the castle. The castle is going to be... let's see. Oh yeah, the castle is going to be over here. And this is as far south as you will get in that region expansion thing. So what else do we have? We will have a little village which is hidden in this big forest, and I've already did some work on the village, though I won't be continuing until I reach this area. But yeah, you can see it's gonna be like a little forest village on this like open place, this clearing, and it's gonna be like on the border of the swamp and the forest, so kind of in between those we'll have a little bit of a village going on, another place that you would be able to find some loot. Then what other things will we have here? We'll have some trolls inspired by the Hobbit, so 3 stone trolls, probably, hopefully three of them, because that would just be cool. And then over here we're gonna have the witches. which is probably just gonna be like either a tower or just some cabins, probably an epic dungeon involved, so maybe a cave or something. So that's definitely gonna happen. Then out here at the kind of ocean, bordering to the swamp, I want to have like a big pirate ship, which probably would have some loot in it, because pirates always like to loot places. And then the last thing that you will have in this northern part will be the entrance to the Dwarven Kingdom, and the same as with the Goblin Town and the Hidden City in the desert, this will be only on the outside. It will be sealed off, and in a later expansion you will be actually able to go into the Dwarven Kingdom. And especially the Dwarven Kingdom would be quite a big expansion, because it would have like multiple halls on the ground, just a lot of different halls all the way. It could really go a long way in every region and just be kind of like a major civilization hidden under the ground. So with that being said, we've covered everything I want to add in this area. Other than that, there could be like normal places, just regular houses or destroyed buildings here and there, so just gives you a feeling that there is something out there. But I don't want it to make too crowded, because it shouldn't be too easy to get loot. So with that being said, I hope to see you in the next area of this map. And welcome to the next area, which is called the White Cliffs, and which is gonna hold the human city. So this is gonna be one of the major cities of the map. So it's gonna be quite a dangerous location, because it's just basically gonna be one major city, which means a lot of different houses, which means a lot of different places where you could find some loot. And because of that, it will be one of the places that will have probably a lot of players. So it won't be a good place to go if you don't have like good armor and stuff, because you would probably end up being there very soon. And at least that is what I hope will happen to this place, that it will kind of be like a place that you go once you've got better gear. And otherwise there are ways to implement that. Of course, in this city there will be mobs that are stronger than in the jungle and in the desert, and probably as well as stronger as in the main area. So it will just be having stronger mobs, so that it is actually a harder place to go. And then especially once there would be players around as well with good gear, it would be a tough location to go, but it would be worth it, because there would be good loot in this. And my plans for the human city are to make like a port somewhere at these White Cliffs, have some woodcutters over at the forest there. We will have some farms probably just outside the city. We'll have a big keep where the lord of this town, or city, it's really gonna be a city, where the lord of the city, so probably on top of this hill, where the lord of the city would live, maybe king of the human city. Then we'll have a trading district close to the port. We'll have a lower residential area, we'll have a middle residential area, and we'll have a higher residential area, and a military district. And probably, those regions will all have something special in it. There will be some, of course, sightseeing points for the city, and probably some of them, or most of them, will have some kind of dungeon in it where you could find some extra loot to strengthen your army, maybe if you go with your friends. Before you move on to any of the next areas. So that's gonna be that. I of course could use a lot of suggestions for the human city, and maybe also some things that like on which city I could inspire it. Of which city I could inspire it from. Like maybe you want to see a city out of Lord of the Rings, or you want to see something else. Just let me know, and I'll see you in the next area. So here we are in the next area, which is the southern main area. So we've seen the northern part of this, with the castle being the most southern part of that, and yeah, now we're in the actual southern part. So what we'll have here is the second entrance to Goblin Town. So this is on the other side of the mountain. So there's the jungle. This is the other area, and I want to make a second entrance here. So again, that's going to be sealed off until the expansion comes out. But it does mean that it kind of forms a threat for this area, and it will be a faster way to go from this area to the jungle. So there are multiple ways to get out of the jungle area. And then what else will we have in this region? We'll have a wood elven town here. It will be very small, and it will be probably based on the style that I did on my ancient island. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the things that's gonna be here. Then the next thing I want to, of course I will add roads through the forest. Just because you can follow the roads or you can stray off the roads. Then here at the coast, I want to make an Italian themed city, so probably along the lines what you saw in Assassin's Creed with Ezio. Based on that style and on those games, I want to build like a city here. It's not gonna be huge, but it's still gonna be quite big. It's gonna be a decent size, so that it again will prove for a good loot place, but also a dangerous place because of the people that will be here and the stronger mobs that will place in this city. So then we've got another thing that we will be placing in this area. For the Italian city, outside the city, I will have probably some farms, but also some vineyards, just because that would be cool, and it will be new. And yeah, so that's something that you can expect around that city. Then here, where the southern part of the main area meets up with the actual north, this is the connection to the north, which is going to be the last place that it's going to be added to the map. And you get out of the forest, basically you get into the snow, and I want to build the first Nordic settlement here. And that Nordic settlement is really going to be about trading with the world that's out here, as well as defending what is in here. So that's the general idea. So this will just be a small settlement, probably with some defensive system there. Then when we go a little bit further, that's where the north begins. So for this region, that is everything that I wanted to show you, and we'll be going on with the north right away. So we've got the last region that we need to talk about, and that is the north. The north will not only, but one of the ways that north will be accessible will be through the wall. So there will be a way through it with a gate, and the gate will probably be made so that you can seal it off. Because that means that you could end up with a closed gate if someone on the other side decides that it's time to close the gate. And do not worry, because there will be other ways into it. So the wall is a defensive position. It's based on, of course, the Game of Thrones, because that series is just awesome. And yeah, I'm a huge fan. Then this is gonna be the castle, which is then of course gonna be based on Castle Black. And then there's also gonna be a mine here, and I saw a suggestion to make like a haunted mine, so there could be a haunted section to that mine. And then here, this is the entrance to the north. You can see the hills going up. Then on top of this part of the cliff, so overlooking the castle and the mine, is going to be a destroyed Nordic town. So there used to be a town here with a little port, but it's now destroyed. In this port there would be a way up. There has to be one because of the town that used to be there. Though it will probably just be destroyed, so that it will prove a little bit harder to get up there, with a lot of risks of falling down. because it should not be easy to get into the north. 'Cause this is gonna be like the main area that you want to reach. Then what else will we have in the north? I do want it to feel like you're alone, so I'm not gonna be building too much on these wide plains, so that it's like really the frozen waste, and that you are like, where do I need to go? Then you will meet this forest, and before we go into the forest, let me say that I haven't had the time to fly around and made sure that it's completely covered in snow everywhere yet, so that's why I'm leaving it snow now, so that we have the fresh layer. So eventually everything will be covered in snow in the north. So then here we've got the place inside the forest, which is going to be a shrine to the old gods. Not sure, I might make the weird wood also that is based on Game of Thrones, but I might just come up with a different design for my own kind of lore. So that is definitely gonna be on the map. Then a little bit further into the forest is gonna be not right here actually, is gonna be the statue of Knut the Great. And Knut, if you don't know, that is an actual person. It's a Viking that has been known to conquer England actually in real life. So that's something out of real life. I know real life is something that people tell you that exists, but yeah. So yeah, Knut the Great is gonna be one of the there's gonna be a statue of him, so that's gonna be fun to make. And then here we've got another like fjord, and this fjord has some dangerous looking spikes, but when you go up here there will be a Nordic town, so there probably will be a port, another way to get up to the cliff to the north, though it will probably be dangerous as well. So this is going to be one Nordic town. It's not going to be too big, it's going to be holding the woodcutters, and it's going to be supplying the main city of the north, which at first I planned to be quite huge, maybe too huge, so I kind of shrimped it down. So this was where I was planning to make the woodcutter district of the city. Instead this is gonna be nothing, and it's gonna be over there in the Nordic town. Then here we're gonna have a mage tower on top of this like little piece of fjord, which is gonna have a bridge to the city. This is gonna be the city of Tjorshavn, which is going to be the main Nordic city, which is quite a bit smaller as I originally planned it. It's not going all the way over there anymore, it's just going here down to the mountain. Still, it's quite huge. Let me just show you. So from all the way over there, all the way over there, there's going to be one of the ports is going to be there. Then you can fly all the way over here. There's going to be a tower, which is a connection, which will all go all the way down here, which will lead into this part of the city, which you've already seen before. And this is the farming area and the fisherman port. So with that being said, I've showed you everything in the north. Let's just find ourselves a good location, because I have some other things to talk about, but there's nothing that I can show you yet. So we've taken a look at all of the map, and now I would like to talk about expansions. I've talked about this a bit when showing you the map, and now I'm just going to talk about all the expansions that will be coming. And I'm not saying that this is the order that they will appear, it's kind of just going to be the mood that I'm in and what I want to build next. Okay, so we got the Hidden Desert City, which is going to be one of the expansions which is going to be added. So that is something, a project that I could be working on after the map is actually finished. Also, I do not plan on making the expansions all by myself. I will probably go look for a build team by then, just because otherwise it would take too long. So the Desert City is going to be one of the expansions. Goblin Town is going to be one of the expansions, as well as the Dwarven Kingdom. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun to make. But I will need Foxhole Sniper for that, but it's no problem. Then I want to, you know, my ancient island map. I'm thinking of making that an expansion as well. And how will I try to make that work? Well, it's basically just an island surrounded with the sea, and this is basically a continent surrounded with water. So it would be easy to paste the two together, that you could find some boat somewhere and you could sail to the ancient island, and that will have some forgotten treasure, something like that. So that's gonna be one of the projects that's gonna be turned into an expansion later on. Then I might do things like adding new dungeons and crypts, etc. But that could just be like really small entrances that are good hidden locations, and if you find them, you will find a dungeon. But we'll have to see about that. We'll have to see about how the server actually does by then. But such things I want to add as expansions, as well as maybe add sewer systems in the cities later on, that you could actually go into the sewers. With such things, I probably by then I want to kind of start a builder team to help me with the process, to speed it up a bit more, because yeah, then the map would already be open. But up to that point, everything is gonna be built by me, just because I want to develop all the styles. Yeah, just see how many different styles I can come up with, and if they look actually good. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've seen anything that you would like to improve, like maybe you've got some cool ideas that I could add instead of something that you've seen today, maybe you've seen something that I could add in the swamp, because that area does not have a lot in it at the moment. Anyway, leave all your suggestions down below in the comments, and maybe I'll use them as soon as I reach the area that you suggested something for. And with that being said, I hope you will leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time in another video.